Okay.
All right, welcome everybody to week 3 of creating better videos for your piano students and tutorial videos as well. We are excited about this one because today we've actually gone through some really good tips for you. We talked about lighting and audio and even a little bit of movement. And we had you submit some more videos. So today, one of the things we want to cover is we want to look at the videos you put in and we want to give you some tips. First of all, anybody who did videos, a big thumbs up. You guys rock. And there is no such thing as a failure. Absolutely not. Like your video's your video. You just, the more you put in, the better you're going to get. And a lot of times they go backwards. Like I did some videos this week and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I didn't do that right, or I didn't do that. And so, and I also have some questions that I want to ask Joel today, like how come I'm getting this effect or that effect when I shouldn't be? And so maybe Joel can give me some advice on one of the videos that I put in today. All right, shall we jump right into looking at some of the videos?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm going to share my screen. And hide my controls. Let's go right to the videos. So you can see I've just kind of highlighted these in yellow. These are the new videos that came in this week. We'll just jump right in order and go to the first videos. So this very first video is by Nancy Matlin.
Hello, how would you like to learn the piano keyboard in
May I ask, are you guys hearing the audio?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I think I did. Okay.
6 easy steps? This is the first step and the most important when you're starting to learn the piano. You must know the names of the white keys on the keyboard. There are only 7 different white keys or letter names. They are the first 7 letters of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. These letters repeat 7 times on a piano.
Okay, I want to go ahead and stop that real quick and say congratulations for putting in this tutorial video. You have now gone 35 seconds and I don't even see your face. It would be really nice because all I see is a piano doing nothing. And so for the most part, when you're doing a tutorial video, you want to keep people's attention. And usually like your face is something you'll want to see. If you don't see the face, then you'll want to see some movement that kind of does the same thing about that you're talking about. Let's go ahead and just kind of fast forward here. Okay, at 50 seconds, you put your hands on the keys.
Groups of 2, or they're in groups of 3.
The second thing that I would mention is your video is opposite of what I'm looking at on my piano.
Could we tell you a minute? This is the first video we did. The
Yeah.
second video I had my hands on from the beginning.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he turned it around. He learned that he could turn the piano around.
Turn it around. So this is
yeah.
perfect. This is actually better than watching your good one because it points out that just how like how important it is to flip your piano around so that whoever's looking at the screen, their hands are in the same place that you would be. So yeah.
Well, we can't flip the piano. It's a grand piano.
Well, you flip you flip the camera.
Oh,
so
the camera. Yeah.
You turn the camera. So and you can do that in
Sorry.
okay. You got me on that one. So you flip the camera around. This camera is quite a bit smaller. But you can do that in post-editing software, which next week is when we're finally getting to editing software. So that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, but make it so that, oh, and your piano is crooked. I'm glad you did that because I have so many videos with a crooked piano. And there are ways to fix it in post-editing, which I'll show you. But for the most part, like Joel said, anything that you do, you want to try to do as little editing as possible. Try to get a good capture on your video first. So anyway, excellent. Good job on putting that tutorial video. We're going to go ahead and go to the next video and see if we can find another tip here. This one is Elizabeth's. Okay, very much like it. I see a change from her last video with lighting. I also see another change that she added in. She clipped the video. Elizabeth, are you here?
Yes, I am. Can you see me?
How did you clip that video?
I did it on my smartphone because I couldn't do it on YouTube. I could not find how to edit it on YouTube. We both tried, for my husband and I, and that didn't work in the end. So I went back and just edited it. It's easy on videos in the smartphone.
Yeah, it was much easier than you thought it would be, huh?
But I did buy more equipment, and I'll have to tell you what it is.
Yeah, tell us.
Because it didn't require as much editing, because this UB size ring light set includes a remote for the smartphone. And so it's a light thing, but it's also got this cool little remote that I had at the side of the piano, because my husband's not available a lot of times when I want to play. And so I I didn't even know this would come with a remote. We got it for the purpose of lighting. And it has, you put your smartphone in the middle of this fixture right there, and in the circular part. And it comes with a tripod, and it has like 4 or 5 different settings of lights. So we had to mess and see which, the blue lights or the yellow
soft lights. And the best way to do that is really experiment. Just do them over and over. The video came off kind of yellow on this one. You have more of a yellow tint.
More of, we decided on more of the yellow instead of the blue. For some reason, I didn't like the blue because it
you also can adjust, I imagine, the intensity, so you could turn that down.
Oh, really?
Yes,
you probably can on that light.
Okay.
Let me mention too, the other way you can kind of adjust your light if it doesn't have an adjuster is just by scooting the light back a little bit. That will also decrease the intensity.
Okay.
I would say the music blew out here. So you've and it's not a big deal, but
yeah, and that can also be a limiting factor of the camera's dynamic range, what they call dynamic range. So that means like the human eye can see colors that are very dark and also colors that are pretty bright. So there's a range of darkness and brightness, but most cameras can see a much smaller range of dark and light. And so once you go past that amount of brightness, it just becomes blown out. So for example, you can see on the sheet music, there's no detail. You can't see, for example, the notes on the page. And that's because that part of the image was too bright for the camera to see it. Even though our eyes could see it, the camera couldn't.
Is there an easy way to fix that? First, it would be pull your light back a little, or?
It could have been, I actually think it might be the overhead light that was a little too bright, is what it kind of looks like here. So it looks like there was a light sort of above your head, right?
Can you put a Walmart bag over the light above?
So yeah, no, honestly, if you put just something semi-transparent, like a bag or a sheet, like a light sheet, sort of over that light, that'll diffuse the light more, it spreads it out more, and it'll tone it down just a little bit, and it would probably have made it so that that part of the image would have not blown out. And I mean, these are like, we're really kind of nitpicking at this point, but at the same time, the difference between let's say an amateur video and a more professional video, a lot of times it is just those fine details that makes it.
Yeah.
So it's like in music, right? You hear a great performer perform, and the average person can't tell you why it was a great performance. They just know it was good. Especially when you compare it to a bad performance, they can't tell you why the other performance was better. They just know it was.
Yeah,
And
but
this
even a great
video is
performance, Joel, like a great performance,
subtlety.
if you have like a professional musician come in, they'll find something they can nitpick.
Sure.
They will find something they can improve. And that's kind of what we do as piano teachers, right? It's our
Right.
job to find something to improve with these students.
Right.
So right now, the sound, it was jerky and it didn't correlate with my playing. On my YouTube channel, it correlates just fine.
Yeah, I think
but
what
the
you're looking
blue-
at is just the zoom. It's not,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with the video.
Okay, well, the blue, when we had the blue light on, it was one part of my arm that turned blue. And I didn't like that. So in your experience, should one use yellow or blue?
How about something else?
Or they don't have green. They don't have,
I use both yellow and white. So there's something that on my light, let me stop sharing this really quickly.
yellow and white. How do you get the combination, Aaron?
Well, yellow or white, I should say. So I've got a couple of lights, and let me just spotlight myself here. Where's spotlight? Okay, so you can see on the back of my little light here, and you guys can find this on the agenda. I've got this particular light. There are some options that I can control. I'll turn it on. And then you can see I'm at 50% brightness. So I can turn the brightness up and down. But then I can also, you see this 4000K, that actually is your color. What would you call that, Joel?
Color temperature.
The color temperature. So you can see it turning a little yellow on my face. And as
Oh,
I turn it up brighter to like, what's the maximum? Is that 50, 56?
I think 56 or 6, something like
Yeah,
that.
56K, 5600K. So
Yeah, so that's the color temperature.
that's more of a like a blue.
Daylight
light.
is kind of more like, yeah, it's more of like a daylight color.
Sometimes like a good setting is 4000.
okay.
Yeah,
4,000.
Yeah, it depends on the room a little bit too, but
And what you're trying to get.
yeah.
The coolest feature about this contraption is that the remote. I was so excited about the remote. So now my husband has just turned on this light in our background. See it right now? And here are the different colors. It's at least 5 settings. But
Yeah.
think nothing on the back that allows for diffusing it less or more.
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
There is?
It's a.
Oh, it's a plus,
it's
there is.
plus
Yeah,
minus.
plus minus.
Yeah.
Okay, something super silly. Throw a bag on it sometime and just see what that does. Just a Walmart bag or whatever. And just
Okay.
experiment with it.
Oh, okay.
Joel said a sheet or something. These are called diffusers. And what they do is they just spread the light out evenly.
Okay.
All right, so let's jump over to the next video. I'm gonna hit share screen and let's see. How do I get out of this one? And we'll go to the next one on our list. All right, Vicky King.
I'm Vicky King, and I'll play Chopin's Minute Waltz.
Okay, 2 things I'll mention right off the bat. Number 1, I really like the lighting here. That lighting it's just really well lit. You can see everything is clear and clean. Vicky, how did you do that? Was it just the lighting in your room?
I have overhead lights in my music room, and I just dim them slightly so that the music would not be, there would not be a glare on the music.
Man, you toned that in perfectly. You tuned it in. It was, that's as clean as you're gonna get. Really nice job. I also actually liked you announcing what you're going to play. I thought that was appropriate. Sometimes you don't want to, sometimes you do. I actually kind of like that now. You got a partner to help you.
I did.
Yeah, let's watch your motion and let's just see what you did with this. Now we're going to talk about your partner's ability to smoothly go around the room. Hey, that is one smooth camera operator. Who's doing that?
My husband.
Tell him he's smooth. I'm gonna look and see real quick if he's got any other angles he does. He sticks to pretty much just that one little area of the house because the other part of your house might be a mess. That was really well done. Good job on that one. So let's move over to another video. This one is going to be Flying Leaves. Oh, this is one that I did, and I had some issues with this one. I did this one. So I did this one in a lesson. We had our lesson on Friday, and the student came up and I said, hey, today we're actually going to record a video. And she's like, really? So at first she wasn't excited, but once we started, she loved it. And what's up with the hands at the end? It was cute. Watching your students perform is so much fun. I had two issues here. I shot this from two different angles, you can see, and I used video editing software. So I cheated. This isn't actually one of the easy ones. So one thing you notice is her hands got off and I had to switch to her face on this shot. And then I went back to her hands here. But I'm listening to, and I don't know, Joel, when you were listening to that, could you hear it peaking the sound like it was too harsh on the headphones, or is that my headphones?
It's a little hard to tell through Zoom because it's, you know, it's like a reproduction of the videos it's playing, but so I couldn't tell if what I was hearing was just an artifact of Zoom or something else.
Okay, I know we'll get into some of that audio stuff in the audio editing software when we get there. So we'll save that for that. But I did notice the lighting change in my camera. So I don't know if you saw that, but as I came in closer to the keys, and I didn't adjust anything, it was just like a self-adjusting light in my phone. If you can see it. So it's kind of a yellow light here. And then it changed right there. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Let me go back. It changes when I come in close. There, now it's all white. And then it's back to yellow. So if I don't want the colors to change like that, is there a setting in my phone that I can go in and say, stop it? Did you hear that, Joel, that question?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were talking to me directly. What was the question?
So you could see how the lighting changed
Yeah,
from this shot here. It turned white and then back to yellow, but my phone was doing that automatically.
yeah. So there are settings on most phones to do what's called auto exposure. Usually your phone is going to automatically try to adjust for the lighting situation. So auto exposure means the brightness, like how much light it's accepting. And then there's also auto focus, which sometimes the camera will automatically try to focus on things. And then you also have what's called auto white balance, which is where it'll try to automatically find the color. You know how so some of these videos come through with a really like red look or a yellow look or a blue kind of light. So most phones today try to automatically adjust those things. So what you can do on your camera, if you're having troubles with some of that, check in your camera settings. Like on the iPhone, there's an option to, it's called, you tap and hold on the screen and it'll allow you to lock the exposure, for example. And what that means is that then as you move around the room, it's not going to automatically try to adjust it, which will keep the video looking consistent that way. So if you're having troubles like that, just look for anything that's doing like automatic adjusting on your camera. You may need to tell it not to automatically adjust so it doesn't do some strange things as you're moving around.
Okay, I think I'll experiment with a little bit of that in the audio, in the video settings, the camera settings. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, let's move on to, let's see, I can close these two videos and let's go to this one.
So Aaron, how did you get the movement so smooth?
I just crossed my legs as I walked. A lot of football practice. Just kind of balance my hands. Actually today what we're going to do is we're going to let you guys watch as Joel does a shot. So you can actually see what he does to keep the movement smooth.
Aaron, there are stabilizers that you can carry your phone on, right? Do you know which ones are good?
We actually have, I believe, one in, they're called gimbals. And I will be putting all of those in right here. Do we have a gimbal? Oh, we don't have the gimbals up yet because, well, I guess we need to put those gimbals in there this week, Joel.
What's it called? Just gimbal?
Yeah, the term is gimbal. A gimbal is a device that helps hold your camera stable as you move around.
Oh, good.
And there's lots of different options with those.
We'll show you one. We'll show you a gimbal today, and how you can use that as well. So we've got that. But great question on that. Let's see. Where's my hide button? All right, our next video. Oh, we did Carla's already, huh? And all right, so Carla cheated because she used video editing software. How do I know that? Well, there's a fade in, first of all, and there's also this little intro, what do you call this? The caption here. We haven't gone into that yet, but Carla already knows how to do that. Now that was a long fade. We're going to be showing you when we get into video editing software next week, we're going to show you how to do those fades and how to add some of those titles. It's super simple. She is not using any motion, so she just set her camera up on some sort of camera stand or something. And it goes through the whole video that way. The lighting is really good. Let's see how the audio is. What caught my eye was this little microphone inside the piano. And even though it is up close, you hear a lot of reverb. Pretty good sound. Let me hear, I think over at the beginning. Joel, what would you have any comments on that one?
Yeah, one question I have is, I see the microphone in the shot there. Is that the microphone that she's using? Is she, I don't know.
Or is it a prop?
Yeah. Luis, are you on this call?
I think that's actually, who put that in? Carla
Oh, Carla.
Cueljas. I don't know if she is here today.
Okay. Well, yeah, the only thing I thought I maybe heard, and again, it's hard to tell for sure through Zoom, when she hit some of those hard chords, it may have done what's called peaking a little bit, which is
It
where
did peak because I could hear it on my end.
It did?
Yes.
Yeah. So it may have been that the microphone setting may have been up a little too loud. So I don't know if exactly what she was using, if she was using like an audio interface, or because I don't see it here, or if that was just the microphone, you know, from the camera itself. It may have gotten just a little too loud. One thing you can do in a lot of cameras is you can also adjust the microphone input sensitivity, and you can turn it down a little bit so that if you're playing something loud, it won't overpower the microphone. And that's another thing Aaron mentioned earlier, that sometimes you just have to experiment a little bit. And that's exactly, I think, what this is it's, you know, what we're doing here when we're pulling up these videos and critiquing them. This is the exact same thing that I would do to my own videos. And I would look at it and say, well, okay, what would make this video better if I came back and did it again? But the good thing is that you can do tests, like quick tests. So you don't have to fully produce a whole video like this just to find that out. For example, a lot of times what we'll do when we're, excuse me, when we're setting up a video is I'll have Aaron sit down at the piano, for example, and I'll tell Aaron, hey, play as loud as you can. And he'll get in there and he'll kind of bang on the keys a bit. And
my favorite thing to
do that is because I want to know how loud is as loud as we're possibly going to get in this video. And then I'll adjust the microphone so that it can handle that. And then that way, when he does his recording, I don't have to worry about the sound. They call it peaking out, or going up into the range where it would sound distorted.
Joel, do you want me to like peak my piano out so that people could hear that? Would that be helpful? Because I could
yeah,
do that.
yeah, let's do that.
Do you have a way to do that, Josh?
Yeah, so this is a piano not peaked out. But if I turn it up, and I'm going to try not to blast your ears out, it's probably pretty peaky, if I'm not mistaken.
It actually wasn't too bad.
No, I can peak it more.
Peak it more. There you go. Yeah, did you hear that little bit of distortion?
Can you do it again, Josh? But this time hold the key
Can
out.
you do it with
play.
my vocals maybe too? Vocals like super peaky right now. That's terrible. And then if I dial it back, it's
right.
Beautiful. And then la 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 la. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's a good example. So when Josh tweaked it up, he had that microphone turned up really loud. You could hear that distortion, right? So that just meant that the microphone signal was so strong that it just starts to become distorted. So that's a perfect example. So I think in her recording, what would have maybe, I like the lighting overall. I think she did a pretty good job with that. But yeah, I think on some of those chords, like she's really putting a lot of power into those chords. And in a live room, I'm sure, it probably sounded really great. But the microphone probably just got a little bit overwhelmed at a couple of spots. So if she did a test recording first and then could hear that, then she could have turned the microphone down a little bit, and then it would have come out a little
overall cleaner. Excellent
Yeah,
performance.
Excellent video though.
Okay, so
excuse me, you have a question. How do you turn that microphone down on the iPhone? I don't know.
On an iPhone, maybe a way to I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head how to do it, but I know that there's different apps that allow you to do more fancy.
Don't worry about it though until it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Solve your problem when it comes.
Yeah.
So when you get a video and we look at it and we're like, hey, this is peaking, then we'll solve it. Otherwise, a lot of phones are so smart that they automatically adjust. And I think you probably won't have a problem. I will say the
iPhone, actually, the iPhone is really good about automatically adjusting the volumes so that usually it's not a problem. But it also, as Josh mentioned, it does also kind of depend on which app you're using, because different apps have different controls for that sort of thing. But yeah, that would be the one thing to check out.
I think when you start getting into fancier setups, I have a microphone here, that's when you have to start really worrying about this. But I think I just wanted to say one quick thing. I think one of the cool things that Aaron just said that I wanted to highlight is and Joel said, they're giving you guys tips that they look for in a video themselves. I think this is hopefully showing you all different things that when you hear it or when you see it, you'll be like, oh, that's distorted audio. And it'll be one of those things that just gives you okay, I know how to fix this. It gives you a quick diagnosis, and then you know how to fix it, or what to at least, the buzzwords to search for.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly. So Cheryl Norman, looks like you may have either a partner or you trimmed this video.
My husband videoed.
Oh, okay. I also noticed some movement. He's a smooth camera operator too. Now you have wooden floors. Did you throw any pillows in there?
There's a big rug on the main part of the floor.
That helps a lot. I like that I can see your face here, your facial expressions. I'm a little concerned I can't see your fingers. Smooth camera operator. You did a great job on that. And I love that song. Okay, you did one of your students. This is interesting. Well, you couldn't really pick the time of day because he had to come to his lesson at that scheduled time, but you got window glaring with the light in there. Maybe a darker curtain could help. So you have light on the foreground instead of on the background.
So yeah, one thing in a shot like this that could help balance that a little bit is, Cheryl, if you had a light coming from, so we're looking at the camera angle here. If there was a light, let's say maybe just off to the right side, like a lamp or a, one of those lights like Aaron showed earlier, or the one, who was it that had the loop light?
That was Elizabeth.
That loop light. And I posted a link in the chat, by the way. Someone else was asking about that. I posted, if you look in the chat, there's an Amazon link in there that has a similar light to that. they're not super expensive, but they're really handy for this sort of thing because you can get, you can see on the right side of his face is pretty dark and the right side of his body is pretty dark. So a little light coming from this side would just balance that shot out really well.
Yeah.
Let me make a comment here. This, the lighting is exactly the same lighting that I used when I played, but I did it in the evening and his lesson was the next morning and I used the same lighting exactly to see what the difference would be.
Isn't that interesting?
Now you're telling me because of that sun coming in the east window.
What a difference it makes.
It makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if
And
she
you can't
came
tell all
from
your
the other
students to come
side?
at nighttime.
What if she came from the other side?
Well, you could.
That would possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
That would possibly help.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't look like there's a lot of room on the other side though, so that would be hard to get the right angle maybe.
Correct. There's
And
no
you-
room.
And you'd have to clean your living room.
It's
So,
overall though, it's really good. Yeah.
yeah, really good.
It's
great.
just these subtle differences we're talking about, really.
Yeah. This one, oh, this is a great one. Videos unavailable. That means if you put one in, you can take it down and nobody can see it. And Pat said, can you just delete that? So goodbye.
Yeah, take the next one too.
This one, oh. Okay, this one is hilarious. She said, Pat told me, I put a pillow on the piano to help with the acoustics, and she really did.
No, it really did help.
So it helped with the acoustics. I guess the next thing you need to talk about is the aesthetics. So this is great. Let's listen. Of course, you have carpet on the ground, and you can see a couch in there. Lots of sound absorbers. That's very nice. So the pillow did help.
Oh, yeah. And then my brother-in-law took the video and the camera was away from the piano because I've been having problems with sound.
Yeah.
Background sound has been terrible. So I'm going to try to not get the pillow.
Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing some of these next videos.
But
This is
in
great
fact-
learning stuff.
Yep. Let me just comment too. You may have noticed that the sound on her video that we just watched there was, it sounded from what I can tell pretty clean and nice, but maybe a little bit on the quiet side, right? Which I understand it is a more quiet song. But there are editing things you can do when you're editing your video to bring the volume up a little bit so that it balances a little more with, you know, the volume setting that someone has when they're watching that video. So, but we'll get into that in the future. But yeah, that was a very nice job.
Okay, this tutorial, let's see, Becky Brower.
Did I did art right? Is that correct? When I had it on YouTube, I should have said public or.
Did you, what was your question again?
Well, it says private, you know, and I thought I put public.
Okay, if it says private, all that means is you have to have, no. Private means nobody can see it. That's
Except for you.
I didn't check the right thing.
Yeah, unlisted is a good one to know because unlisted means it's still there. People just can't find it unless they have a link to it.
I don't know how I did that, but I messed
So,
up.
yeah, well, that's everybody does that. This one's interesting. Okay, there was some video editing software involved in this, I believe, because you can see this note chart by Cheryl Norman.
Yeah, I used iMovie to put it together.
Okay. We're going to get into some iMovie stuff. And I'll just go through this quickly. I would say my first concern here, well, two concerns. One is the angle, but I think the angle was actually the angle's perfect because you're kind of showing the chart itself and you're seeing his face. So that angle's really good. It really is. Maybe a little lower, like by 2 inches, could have been a little bit better, but you wanted to get his face in there. So you just trying to find that perfect. I would say that was really good. The audio, though, I can hear the piano louder than his voice. How do you solve that? Use the soft pedal. I mean, that's the first thing. You could put the soft pedal down and that would soften the piano up a bit. Very good. I like that tutorial video. Well done.
Yeah, and I'll say I don't have any issues with, you know, Aaron's things he's talking about there. Personally, those weren't even things that I thought about at all. Like they weren't distracting to me. I thought sounded really good. The piano tone sounds a little tinny is all. And I don't know if that's just how that piano is or if it's maybe something to do with the microphone. Were you using an iPhone or something?
Yeah, it was just an iPhone that I used, but I do have, I mean, it's the hardwood, and I don't generally use this piano. I just had him do it really quickly for me. So,
yeah, but no, I mean, it's great. And even the lighting is
good lighting.
Pretty good. No, excellent job.
Yeah, great video. And Joel, that's a great point. A lot of these things are really personal preference too. Like how much reverb do you want? That's kind of personal preference. Like,
right.
I like it this way. You like it this way. Somebody else likes it another way. So in the end, it's a piece of art, and art is, I mean, a staccato isn't necessarily this short or that short. You can choose how short your staccato is. That's the artistry behind it. And so video is art. So know that we'll just give tips and you can throw them away. It's just like, nope, I wanted it like that.
Yep.
Excellent. Excellent job. Okay, this one, oh, this is a good one by Ada Corbin. I'm going to click on it and guess what? It says you need access. So when you share a video with somebody on Drive, make sure if you share the link, you actually have to give that person access to the video or they can't open it. In order for me to get access to this, I can either click request and then the request is sent by Google to that email address of whoever sent it. And then if he chooses, he can give me the access to that. Okay, we've got 2 more videos here. Super pretty song. I notice a yellow light in here, though it's really well lit though. The camera's a little bit on an angle, so makes me a little bit dizzy, but that's good. Over here, I noticed the title of the video. She left what the phone automatically named that. There's 2 ways to fix that. You can either do that from your phone before you upload it to YouTube, or in YouTube, you can go and edit the video. And there, if you own the video, there's going to be an edit button here. And you just click on edit and then you can rename it and do whatever editing in YouTube. She also has it listed as unlisted, and notice I can still play it if it's unlisted because I have the link. So very well done.
This, Aaron, this was my student in Tulsa.
Oh, cool.
And so I'm going to be using her with some of our work because I want to get her to be able to make her videos because I'm not there.
This is great for like just training your students how to do better videos. You can have them just start sending videos and making them. She did a great job. Did you instruct her?
I did. I gave her some, there's a few things. She's done some better with angle. So I wasn't too impressed with this angle, but we'll keep working on it.
Yeah, I mean, you can nitpick forever, but that was a really good job that your student did. And I think this is the last one that came in this week. He's a pirate. got some motion added here. Pretty good audio. What do you think of her hair? I keep Brett's around my studio. And I try to tuck it behind the ear so I can see their eyes. But you don't have to.
Yeah, personally, I think it's fine. I think it goes back to what Aaron was saying about personal preference.
I'm of course concerned with the parents, because I want them to be like, hey, I love seeing these videos that you're doing of my precious child, and for them to like, they're more interested in seeing the than they are actually listening to the sound. It's precious memories to them. And so what they see means a lot. Especially when they see this 10 years from now.
Yes. Echo.
Yeah, I think somebody's
sorry, Betsy, I have to mute you because we're getting an echo from your computer for some reason.
Really weird.
I don't know why.
That happens though. Okay. That is it for the videos that people submitted. So are you guys ready to see Joel do a video with some motion? I guess before we do this, Joel, let me show a couple of videos that show the difference between having motion and not having motion. And I actually do like a 360 thing around my piano, so you can kind of see an idea on that. So let's go ahead and pull this one up. This is my daughter, and I'm going to go back to a year where we didn't do any motion.
I partnered with Musician because I hope anyone at any age feels like now.
Okay, I got some overexposure going on here. And it's a very static shot. Now, someone should listen to the acoustics a little. Is there a little too much reverb, maybe? Could have thrown some pillows or brought a couch up. All right. So now let's go to the next year. We did... So really, I was experimenting with like just some different angles. I really liked the one that came around her back. And maybe it was just me, but that one was an experiment and I tried it and I liked it. Okay, you saw the hidden trick. All right, so this one I was really just playing around with some ideas on motion, and I wanted to try a bunch of different ones just to get some ideas. And I think that's a good idea for you guys, is just try different movements and see what things you like. But just a second ago, you can see my reflection in the piano. Did anybody catch that? You notice I'm sitting down. I'm actually on a rolly chair. So I'm pushing myself around the piano on the stage in a rolly chair, just to see. I kind of made a self gimbal, see if it worked. And a lot of it I really liked. You notice I also experimented with going in really close on the fingers and even getting the mirror part of the fingers. I feel like for me, it just added variety. And so as you experiment this week with your movement in this, add some variety, do some things that maybe you think, well, this might not work, or this is going to be stupid. Try it out and just see what happens. See if you like an effect that you create. Come up around the backside of the piano, like over the top of their head. Come up behind them over their fingers. Put the camera in their face. Do just some different things that could be creative. See what you come up with. Joel, are you ready to go ahead and show this live, or you need a few minutes?
No, I think we're pretty much ready.
All right. Let's see. Josh, are you spotlighting? At this point, I think we need Josh's help.
Yeah, so Josh, what I'm going to do is
I don't think I have the ability to, and I can't hear you, Joel.
Yeah, I muted it so we wouldn't get. Can you hear me now?
I'm making you a co-host, Josh.
Who do you want me to spotlight?
So what we're gonna show, is that from this my camera angle here, where you can see my face, we are going to show the stage here. And Aaron, do you want to do this on the grand piano? Grand piano?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't like that the door's open right behind you.
Yeah, we'll get that in a second. Josh,
let me close it.
Can you spotlight this?
Yep, you're spotlighted.
Okay, and then also, can you spotlight my phone? So you should have both spotlit.
Well, I'm sorry, I have to leave. I have an appointment, but I'll look on the video. I'll have to leave. Sorry.
Okay. Yep. There we go. Okay, perfect. So what we're gonna do is, I've got my phone, and then we have this over here. So the first thing I'm gonna be looking at is I'm coming over here and I'm looking at Aaron, and I can see him through my camera angle right here. So what you're seeing from my phone is the same thing I'm seeing. And right away I'm looking and I'm saying, you know what?
My dork pouch?
Yeah.
Throw that off.
But the first thing I'm looking at is I'm seeing, I don't love the lighting here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna grab this light, and I'm gonna bring it over. And I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. And so Aaron, go ahead and sit there. And look at the difference here. Like if I take this light away versus when I bring this light over, hopefully you can see that, but it just brings Aaron's face and everything much more brightly. And then, yeah, let's get one on that side, Aaron. And bring it back a little bit. Okay, now I realize we do kind of have a mess over here, so we're gonna kind of pretend that's not there for the moment because we don't have time to clean all that up right now. But now as I walk around, I'm looking for even lighting, okay? And it's pretty decent. It's not maybe absolutely perfect. We could maybe use a little bit more light over here. Does this light have a battery, Aaron?
It doesn't.
Okay. So what I could do though, is I could take this light and I can move it back just a little bit so I can get more light right here on the back of the head I'm looking on this side. He's got light over here. And I'm just kind of trying to see so that when we're talking about lighting, we're talking about trying to go for even lighting as much as possible. So now when I come at this angle, it's not terrible, but it's not great. Now I happen to have one more light over here. So what I'm going to do is spin this guy around. Yeah, that's fine.
That one or this one?
Does that one reach closer? Okay, yeah, bring that one then. Just get it, Aaron, right about here. And this is where having multiple lights can be really handy. That circle light that we saw earlier is really cool. But this, if you have it now, these ones, some of these are kind of large. Like, yeah, you can see this is called a soft box, and you'll notice on the front it has this white screen, and inside of it there are lights. And what that
2 diffusers.
Yeah, it's a diffuser, so that spreads the light out so that it's a softer light, and that helps the camera angle out a lot. So you can look for something like this too. It is a little bulkier. But it does do a nice job with that.
I think we have that on the agenda too.
Yeah, I think it's on the list of possible equipment. So let's go ahead and flip that on. And now there's one thing, I don't know if you guys can see this too well. I'll try to demonstrate it. Look at the color of the light there. Okay, it's a very kind of almost bluish kind of light. And then if you come over here, this light is pretty yellow.
I'm going to change it to
so
5K.
Aaron has an adjustment on the back of this to change the color temperature. So let's turn that up, and hopefully you can see it's more of a blue light now, which is going to match that light more closely. Now this light's very yellow, so let's adjust that one as well. There we go. So now we've got a similar color temperature of light coming from multiple sources, which is just going to help it feel more seamless. So now when I come over here, Aaron's face is much more better. Well, I'm kind of standing in front of it. Did I say more better?
More better.
It's more better.
It's more gooder.
It's more gooder. There we go. So this is looking good. So what we're going to do is pretend like we're doing a quick recording. But really, I guess we are recording and Zoom anyway.
Did Josh have the spotlight?
Yes.
On both of those? So
yes.
They
just
were
like
actually
that.
able to see you. That's great.
Yep. Just like that. Yep.
Beautiful.
So this gave us a way to do that. Now, I didn't check sound before doing this. So this is a situation where, I'm literally just, here walking around with my cell phone. So we're in this example, we're kind of counting on the microphone built in to capture the sound. That's not, sometimes you can get by with that. It's not always the best option, but for a quick demonstration, and as you can see, just by me taking a minute to walk around a little bit, I was able to make a more interesting video with this one camera. Now, Aaron's showing you here, this is a GoPro with a gimbal. Now, you probably saw that I was walking around, I guess you guys can see me over here, walking around with the camera and trying to hold my hands out and keep it as steady as possible. But a gimbal like this makes it much easier to do because as you can see, as Aaron's moving around, that camera just kind of go like this back and forth, Aaron. Hopefully you guys can see that, but you see how steady that camera stays. Okay, that's what a gimbal does, is it keeps your camera very, very steady as you're walking around. And that's how you get a really smooth, almost like gliding type of motion in your video footage that way. So it's a really cool way to.
It does take some practice, like learning how to do it. There's a button up here where I can actually lock my camera. And so you want to lock it and then turn it.
Yeah.
And it's still pretty smooth, but otherwise it just stays where it is. But if you lock it, then you can kind of have some control over it.
Yeah. So those are different options. And we're not saying that's something you have to do.
Now, do they make these for cell phones? I know this is a GoPro.
Yeah, they make them for cell phones. So you can buy gimbals for cell phones that'll do basically the same thing that you're seeing with this gimbal here. They vary in price. You know, some of them are a little cheaper, and they can get pretty expensive depending on what you get. Again, this isn't an absolute necessity, but it does make for some really cool videos. But as you could see, even with me walking around and holding the camera out, and I'll come back over here a little closer to this camera, but even just by holding the camera out and kind of bending my knees and walking like this, I was able to get a fairly steady shot. Also, these iPhones, a lot of the iPhones have a pretty, they have pretty good stabilization inside of them. And the newer iPhones just keep getting better and better with that. So
can I hold your camera and show them the movement from sitting in a chair? Okay, so you can see me, I'm sitting in this rolly chair. And I can get a kind of a quick movement here. Let me get around the light. So you can get some interesting effects.
You will get a lot of noise doing it that way. So if you're going to do that, you want to make sure you're recording your audio digitally, probably.
Yeah, and we're not going to actually get to the digital audio until next week.
Yeah.
But that's a great point.
When you're rolling around now, we can hear you rolling around, but when you were recording from rolling around, we couldn't hear you rolling around. So what's the difference?
I cheated. So I was actually cheating when I did it with Miley. We did some audio editing.
Pre-recorded the audio.
So now you can't do that in the simple way. And there's a lot of really cool things you can do when we get into the intermediate recording. We're going to get into video editing software. And you can use just really small, simple things in video editing software that make a big, big difference, where you can go all out and just it goes so in depth that you can't learn it all. So we just want to show some really easy things to do with video editing software that makes you look really good. You can add titles on your video. You can do fades in your video. You can do different cuts from two different angles. Elizabeth, you mentioned that you didn't want to deal too much with the audio editing portion of it. You just wanted to keep it simple. So one of the things you can do is run a camera or two cameras simultaneously at the same time, and then cut back and forth from different shots. And that's a really simple thing to do.
Well, I really want to cut out my wrong notes though.
Okay, then you need to get into the yeah, there's ways to do it. In fact, I just did it this last week with a student, and I recorded. I could show you how to do that next week, actually. It was really clever how we did it. I didn't have time to do a lot, so I'm like, hey, you have some pauses in here. I need to take out the pauses. So I can show you how to do that right in Camtasia or another video editing software. It's really simple. The wrong notes, we get into something completely different. They do that in studios. And I remember when I was doing my doctorate that I went into a studio and he's like, hey, I'll just change that E to a D sharp you missed. I'm like, you can do that? Like, that's way better than like re-recording it. And so he went into, what was it?
There's some programs.
It wasn't Logic. It was the other big one.
Melodyne.
Tools.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember what it was.
Pro Tools.
Pro Tools. Pro Tools was the one. Thank you. But he went into Pro Tools and he's like, I'll just change your note. I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize you could do that. But it was because he was recording it digitally and using audio samples. So we'll show a little bit on how to do that, but we don't want to get too deep. Just play the right notes.
But there's also techniques. There's also
two or three takes maximum, right?
All right.
Aaron, I have a question, and Josh, about lighting. Other than Halloween, when would you just use pure blue lighting?
Whenever you want.
Artistic.
It's the artistry. We do different lights all the time. Just experiment, mostly to see, hey, we've never done this before. Let's do it's fun to do new things. You don't want to do the same stuff over and over and over.
Can it be just when I'm in a blue mood?
Absolutely. It can be whenever you want. Like, this is an art, and a lot of art is experimenting, playing around with stuff you've never done before.
Okay. What are the names of the lights you have up there around the piano?
This one right here is going to be in the agenda. This one right here, I put this one in the agenda. This one I did not put in the agenda. Would you use this one, or
I
wouldn't even do that one.
I really like these ones because they're so small and compact,
and they're battery powered.
They're battery powered or plug in, and they're not that expensive, if I recall. I want to say
they're like $120. That's in the agenda. You can go look.
Okay. And the other thing I like about these is you can adjust the brightness and you can adjust the color temperature. So they're very versatile.
There's just not a lot of light.
We bought these little stands for them, which are also pretty, these are very standard for light stands, and you can get these as well. And a nice thing about it is you can adjust the height.
Yeah, the height is a big deal. You can get those things really tall.
And you can adjust the angle. So if I want to tilt the light this way and get it just in the right spot, you've got a lot of possibilities with this. So it's very versatile, and it doesn't, and when I'm done with it and I want to fold this up, I'll turn it off. I can take, let's see, loosen this guy, and it folds up very compact. So this whole unit,
How many lumens does it have, Joel?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't produce as much light, I know, as like this one. This one's bigger.
This does have more light for sure. But if you have 2 or 3 of these guys, and you saw how we just kind of set them around and spread them out, it evened out the light quite a bit. They're very versatile, and that's one of the reasons we like this. And they don't take up a ton of room. I would say that's the only thing I don't like about this one so much is you need a lot of space to keep these ones somewhere. And if you have 2 or 3 of them, it can be a lot of, it can be pretty bulky.
This one's got more lumens. And if somebody really wants it, you can email and I'll find where I got this one. I don't even remember it. I'm not sure I'd buy those again anyway.
Where do we get the little one?
It's on the agenda.
There's a link.
What's it called?
There's a picture of it.
Viltrox. It's the Viltrox L116T.
Yeah.
You can see it right there. Maybe. Can you see it?
Oops. There it is.
That's the model.
Yeah.
And my UB size UB size ring light set with the tripod and remote costs $35, I think, on Amazon.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. That's a great price.
That's great.
That's a great price. And I mean, you could probably buy two of those.
Yeah. Email me the link to that, Elizabeth, and I'll put it on the agenda.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. There was one other thing that we wanted to bring up. I mean, basically now it's just question time. So do you guys have any questions?
Hi, this is more of a report than a question. So we had our recital last weekend and we applied the things that you guys were talking about. So we just wanted to tell you how it went.
Yeah.
So we had a good and a bad report. So we tried to add movement to the recordings of our performance pieces, but we also had an overhead and a stationary tripod. Proved problematic for editing because as he was moving around the performer, he was on all the other cameras. So just a note, when you're having a lot of different perspectives, you're going to show up in those other cameras. And so fair. So,
and you learned this earlier than anybody else because you tried it first.
Right, we learned it. But as far as the recital itself goes, we had glowing reports from everybody who attended the recital. It was smooth, seamless. We did it all in one video. Some people said it's the best recital they've ever been to just because of how there were not waiting and you had such a clear view of everything.
Yeah.
And so
it was something new too.
What's that?
It was something new for them. They're like, oh, we're recording this and it's something really cool.
Right. Well, actually, a lot of them didn't realize it was a recording. They thought it was live.
Oh.
Which was funny. I was like, oh, well, good. I don't know. Great. But anyway, that's kind of our report on that.
Yeah, we'd love to see some of that video footage.
Which format did you use?
So we actually had everybody send us a video of their performance, and some of them had editing skills, the dads, and some did not. But we compiled them all together in one video, and during the Zoom meeting, we just pushed play and just played the whole thing.
And
That's phenomenal.
Didn't have that lag factor of seeing.
No, there was no lag, I don't think, and which was wonderful because what we had tried before had terrible lag. But one thing that was really fun is we had the chat open on the side, and everybody was chatting to the performer as they were performing. It was the least stressful recital any performers ever had because you could watch yourself and chat with the people who came to watch you. It was so cool. One thing was I forgot to turn off my mic. So my typing on the keyboard was super loud for the first 2 or 3 performances. So we're learning.
That's perfect.
How did you manage so that there wouldn't be any lag when it was on Zoom?
Because we played it from a video instead of doing it live. Well, and I'm not sure if that's why, but there wasn't any lag.
We played it on TechSmith.
Yeah, we did play it on Screencast. If we were going to do it again, we would have done it off of YouTube because we had to fix a few things with Screencast. So we'll do YouTube next time.
So you compiled the one program on Screencast.
Oh, well, I guess we're getting into the fancier stuff. So my husband put all the videos together in Camtasia. He's the one who does all the editing. I just perform. He edits. I don't know how you guys are doing both. Kudos to you. Probably using all these skills everybody's been talking about, but he put it together on Camtasia and then he exported it to TechSmith Screencast. But like I say, we would have done YouTube better. They seem to, I don't know if it's compressing, but they seem to do maybe compressing of the video better. And so it was good. We didn't have any issues, but YouTube is better.
You exported to what? I'm sorry.
It's called Screencast.
Okay.
It's TechSmith is, I think, the parent company. Oh, does it come with Camtasia? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like I say, we would have done YouTube.
Okay.
Oh, but we did. Are you the person who mentioned Rock Out Loud Live?
No.
Oh, someone mentioned that, and I checked into that, and the audio is super awesome for that.
Yeah.
Now you're live.
Yeah, I was the one that mentioned it. Thank you. I was not going to mention it again because I mentioned it 2 weeks in a row, and I didn't want to overload it. But it is better, isn't it?
The audio is way better. The video has some issues. If you're using a higher tech video, but the audio is amazing.
You can play duets. Did you try duets?
I haven't, but I'm going to.
Yeah. It's so much fun.
You're muted, Aaron.
Sorry about that. So yeah, I think, yeah, if you could try that with a duet, I'd love to see somebody actually do it and make it successful. It just feels like it'd be impossible to do a duet over a stream. So let's see, next week. Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Yes.
I thought it was going to be September 13th in 2 weeks.
I lied because next week is Labor Day. Yeah, guys, take a break for Labor Day and we move into the fun stuff. Now we get into video editing software and really cool things that you can do. Of course, we'll show the simple things. We're going to show the free software, the pro software, and we're going to show just some tips. We're going to get in there and just let you guys see how we do a video. Like we're going to just do one live for you and say, okay, this is as fast as you get. You put the videos in there. Here's how you edit them. Here's how you do this and that. We're going to export it and put it on video. We'll do it in like 30 minutes flat, have a video production done. So
Can I say one thing about Rock Out Loud? It was written so that people could be anywhere in the world in a rock band. That's where the name comes from.
Yeah.
So they really can synchronize the sound of more than one person.
Excellent. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Aaron, did you want to show the smart mic today, or are we going to do that in 2 weeks?
Why don't we do the smart mic today? We'll wrap it up today. Does anybody have any questions while we're talking about the smart mic? No? Okay. The audio, we have this device people have been asking about. It's a wireless Bluetooth microphone that connects to your cell phone. Really interesting. We bought one of them. It was $100 and we just wanted to test it because we were getting some strange acoustics with the microphone moving around the room, especially when you're talking and doing a tutorial. So Heidi's going to come around here and show you. So this is the little microphone. Am I being spotlighted? Let me spotlight me.
We can see you.
Spotlight. Here we go. All right, so you guys can see this little microphone. What you do is you just put it on. I actually usually like to put it on. Oh, I just lost it down my t-shirt. I'll be back. Okay, don't lose it. That's embarrassing. Where did my microphone go? I like to put it on the inside, but it's supposed to clip. So you put that clip on. And then it's kind of invisible. Now, believe it or not, we tried this on both a talking performance and a video performance. You guys want to see one shot of how it works? We'll compare it to how it works without it and then how it works with it. We probably won't do it right now.
I was going to show them the app though.
You want to?
Do you want to show them?
Yeah.
They can't hear me.
Well, let me first we'll show you a sample. You have a couple of samples. Sent them to me via email. Okay, so she sent me a couple of samples that we did, one without and one with. So I just have to look up Heidi and tutorial videos with the lapel mic versus without. Okay, so Heidi, which one? First one is without, and you'll hear the problem.
I don't see you sharing your screen.
Oh yeah, thank you for that. We'll go share screen, hit start sharing, and make sure my audio is still sharing. It is, yes. And here we go. And if you guys want a Subaru, this is our commercial. All right, skip that. Hey everybody, welcome to Song of the Week. We're super excited this week because it's one of my all-time favorites. The song is called Tarantella. I will go ahead and play it for you and then we'll break it down. So the audio is actually pretty good here. That's just straight from the show you things to do and things not to do. So what
When I
happened?
start moving around, when I
Oh. 11:45. Okay, at 11:45, she says we get the problem. So 11 minutes and 45 seconds. One thing I'll show you with the ending with the pedal. So if I do this chord, I'm going to hold the pedal down while I do these. Now I want to transition from all that sound to no sound at all. Again, it comes down. So in this video, I'm actually trying to talk and play at the same time. And the problem is the microphone, a lot of people were saying, I can't hear you talk. A lot of times it's too soft for me. And it was because the microphone was automatically adjusting. So we got this one that on the next video that was tucked away in my shirt. Hey everybody, welcome to Song of the Week. Today we are doing In the I'll come over here. One, there are accents in different places. So I will show you.
go to 7:10.
Which one are we going to?
7 minutes, 10 seconds.
7 minutes, 10
And
seconds.
for a minute. It's a really good clip that shows transitions and the sound never changes.
Okay, so we'll start here. You still want to put the accents on the heavy beats and sometimes on the end. So here we go. This particular song you want to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3. So I put it on the 2, 1 and 2. My and was very light, 1 and 2 and 3. The 3 was a little heavier. What makes this tricky is that sometimes the accent's on your thumb, sometimes it's on your pinky, and sometimes it's in your second finger. There it is there. And then the pinky, and then the second finger. So what's interesting is the volume between the piano and the voice is actually very well mixed, and we didn't do any editing of that. Just tucked the microphone in my shirt, and you can hear me very clearly, and the piano's not overwhelming that. So that's a lapel mic done over Bluetooth, and I did put that, I believe, in the agenda. Shall I go show you? In the agenda, come down to useful equipment. There it is. It's this microphone right here. I didn't put a price on that.
It's 89.
Let me see if I click on the link, it'll tell me the price. The price here is $96.88. So let me just throw that in the doc so everybody can see that. $96.88. Okay.
You have to download the app on your phone to use it.
Okay, yeah. So she said that one's a little tricky because you have to download the app on your phone. I wouldn't recommend getting into that just yet, but just so that you know it is an option.
Let me tell you, they have a new thing.
Go ahead.
It's a teleprompter. Just tell.
Oh no, she said there's a teleprompter now. Can you guys see that?
In the app.
There's a teleprompter in the app itself, which I haven't played with.
So if you were recording yourself talking, you could read and record yourself.
That's really cool.
It just added it today. I just saw it.
Today's a new edition of that one. So I'm going to actually try that because there's a lot of times where my eyes are looking down at the page and it doesn't look like my eyes are looking at you while I'm talking to you. In fact, you notice like if my eyes are looking right now, I'm looking down, but if I looked right at the camera, it would look more like I'm talking to you. So as you're doing these piano tutorials and videos, it's helpful, I think, to learn these tricks. This is a good one. I'm going to be playing around with this next couple of weeks, probably. All right. Well, we have a 2-week break. We will see you guys in 2 weeks from today, and we'll get into the intermediate video editing. This is going to be fun. Any questions before we leave?
Yeah, one question. Where was that teleprompter? Was that just for iPhones?
Was that just for iPhones?
I don't know.
You know what this says? That it is for mic clip for iPhone, Android, and iPad.
So you just have to go to the Play
Talk a
Store.
little louder.
You have to go to the Play Store or the Apple Store and just go look for Smart Mic.
It's called Smart Mic.
Okay, so it comes along with the Smart Mic.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes along with the app that makes that Smart Mic work. Smart
Mic Plus.
Mic work. There's probably, I don't know who's talking. I'm sorry if I'm not addressing the correct person, but there's probably an app that does it for free. That's very similar to that. If you don't buy that app or if you don't buy that microphone. But yeah, that's a really cool addition to that microphone, Heidi.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you. All right. Oh yeah, you can take that mic away. Does anybody else have anything before we depart? I will go ahead and put this video onto YouTube and send you guys a link. And then I'm going to also create an abbreviated one as well. Let's see. Did I stop sharing my screen yet?